Heyo, welcome to another episode of Sports Talk. I'm Mirza here with my brother Mustafa. Today we're going to discuss which accomplishment is better. Now I know it's hard to discuss this, but we're talking about Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's goal scoring record and LeBron breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record. It's tough to argue which one's better. Obviously, the different sports, both of them are great accomplishments. I mean, I want to take nothing away from both the athletes. I actually love both those guys. They're amazing athletes, and it's just a privilege to be able to watch two people break a record like Kareem's or like of Gretzky's in our lifetime, which we never thought would happen.
Oh, that's it? No more introduction for you?
No.
Since you don't like to pass the mic over, but that was a lame introduction. Who are you choosing? Get to the point.
LeBron! I'm going with LeBron.
Of course you are. You got
Hold on. No, I love Ovechkin. And his record, beating Gretzky's record, is insane. But he did it in the same amount of games. LeBron broke Kareem's record in 150 less games. That's insane. Approximately 150 less. I don't know if it's exactly 150 less. But in about 150 less games than Kareem did it. Whereas Ovechkin broke Gretzky's record in the same amount of games. Now, how can his record not be better?
Because they used to score more goals in Gretzky's era than they did now. So to score in Gretzky's era was easier. No disrespect to Gretzky. Still the greatest player of all time. But to score more goals in an era where they score less and the goalies are much better, that's impressive. So you know who I'm taking, Ovechkin. I'm not taking anything away from LeBron, because I'm going to say this straight up. I think LeBron's at the end of his career, no one's going to break that record. But I do believe, and there are people on pace right now. Austin Matthews on pace to be, obviously he's got to do it for like 10 more seasons, but goals per game, he's on a higher average than Ovechkin. There's potential of someone breaking Ovechkin's record, but I don't think there's a potential of anyone breaking LeBron's record. Even though I do think, hold up, let me finish. Hold up, take it then. Stop complaining, take it.
And you just stole my point. That's exactly the point I was going to make, but for some reason you're backing my point up. But somehow you're saying Ovechkin's record is better. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say. That's another thing I was going to add. Also, they didn't average more points in this era than they did in Kareem's, which is a misconception people have. No?
They did.
How much more?
Whatever it is more now than there was in the past.
No, I'm talking in LeBron's prime era, like in the 2010, not 2020
but
now.
It doesn't matter about prime, you idiot. He's still playing now. He broke the record now, not in his prime. Did he break in his prime? He broke it now.
I'm not talking about now. I get it. The last 5 years scoring has been more. I'm talking about for majority of LeBron's career, the average scoring wasn't more. So that's a lot of times people like to bring up the argument that there's more scoring.
It might have been more. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not a huge amount, but
I don't know. I don't think so. So I just pulled up some stats, and that's what I'm going to discuss. So Kareem played in the 1970s and the 1960s.
1980s. He played 20 years.
Yeah, he played 20 years, but he joined in 1965.
And 69.
At 69, whatever, man. He joined in the 60s, the point is. Whatever, and he played 1970s to 80s, man. 70s to 80s. 60s was too old. Alright, it's fine. So in the 1970s, they averaged 108.4. Okay? That's when Kareem was in his prime. 108.4. And in the 2000s and 2010s, they averaged 96.9 and 102.1 when LeBron played in his prime years. The only time they're averaging more now is in the 2020s. So LeBron played a good portion of his career where the teams averaged less than they did at the time of Kareem.
That doesn't matter.
How does that not matter?
It doesn't matter because it's the
That's
sport.
That's the point you just brought up.
No,
with Ovechkin, they're
yeah, but
averaging
there's a
less.
big difference in Ovechkin. There's not like a 3-point difference. Okay, it was like a 3.5 they used to score in Gretzky. Now it's like a 2.6 or something.
Still a difference.
Are you seeing the goalies now?
Yeah, the goalies are better. No one's arguing that.
Physically see they're better. You can't just come in and take a slap shot and score a goal.
Are you seeing the defense now in the NBA? Not now, not in the 2020s. But before it got all soft like this, the defense is significantly better. Okay, the offense of these players are way better
Like
too.
I said, I'm giving LeBron his respect. I don't think his record's ever going to be broken. And I do think someone's breaking Ovechkin's record. And I think Austin Matthews can do it. Or Leon Draisaitl possibly. I do believe that's going to be broken. I'm just saying anything in hockey, in my opinion, or football, we're not discussing football right now, like Tom Brady, is harder to do, especially hockey, because you play both. You play offense and defense, and you play 82 games. Same amount of games. This is what PK Subban brought up.
Yeah.
And you're going to say then you're stealing PK Subban. But I'm not like PK Subban. I give respect to LeBron. I'm not just throwing LeBron on the bus. Like, I still think LeBron's record his record's not going to be broken. So my point is, hockey's a tougher sport. You agree or don't agree?
Yeah, 100%
More
agree. It's a
physical
contact.
sport.
It's a more physically contact.
So to play 20 seasons in hockey is harder than to play 20 seasons in NBA.
That I disagree with. As much as hockey is a more of a contact sport and a tougher sport in the sense of contact, basketball is also very difficult to play 20 years because look at the size of the athletes and their knees. Their knees go.
Yeah, but
That's why there's very rare players that have this long of a career in both sports.
But in hockey, they die.
Who's dying?
Wade Belak.
But
Rest in peace to Wade Belak. Rest in peace to 3-4 enforcers that year have passed away. That I forgot the year when they're because CTE.
I agree. Obviously, CTE is not a
Would
thing
you rather
in the
have
NBA.
CTE or a little knee damage?
No, of course. No one's arguing that hockey's tougher or not. I agree hockey's tougher.
To play, you have to be playing 20 seasons to break Gretzky records, at least around 20 seasons.
Yeah.
To play 20 seasons, hockey is harder than in basketball, in my opinion. I haven't played professionally both, but I've played both sports.
I think they're both difficult to play 20
Once again,
years.
taking away nothing from LeBron or NBA players. Tough as hell. I can never play 20 seasons. To play 20 seasons in basketball is ridiculously hard, but I can't imagine it being more harder than a contact sports that plays the same amount of games. Now, if hockey played like 40 games, half the games, different story. And to conclude everything, because you're not going to have no comeback after this, Ovechkin only missed 30-something odd games in 20 years. LeBron has probably missed 30 games in a season.
Yeah.
Obviously, it comes down to injuries, but 30-something games, that's what PK Subban brought up in the whole 20 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is an absolute insane stat, and shout out to Obi for staying healthy through those games. That's insane. But I'm not comparing now this LeBron to Ovechkin. I'm just saying compared to the players that have been resting, LeBron is one of those NBA players that has not been resting. He's a big advocate on trying to play, and he's played that one season where he's played all games. So he's had that too. But not comparing him, obviously 30 games missed in a full contact sport like hockey in a 20-year career is just absolutely insane. But again, I don't want to take anything away from either person, but injuries depends, right? You can always get injured. Ovechkin has been lucky enough to not get injured or well conditioned enough to not get injured. So, or not have a serious injury and needs to take too much time off. But anyways, I don't know which record. Like I said, it's hard to even compare the records. I'm just going to say LeBron's record is a little better in the sense that I think, again, like you mentioned, I don't think it's going to be broken.
One more thing.
Whereas the Ovechkin record, I think might be broken.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, no one's beating LeBron's record, I think so.
Yeah.
And basketball's tough as hell to play. Don't take anything away. I'm not saying it's a soft sport or anything like these analysts nowadays just think it's soft. I heard some analysts say LeBron's playing this long because it's not as hard contact as it used to be. Let's not get it twisted. Basketball never was contact.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Like you gotta ask the NFL and NHL players now.
Yeah.
NFL, they will agree with us.
Yeah.
It's not a contact sport like that, but it's still tough as hell to play. If you can play more than 10 seasons, it's tough as hell.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from them, but you can't just say, oh, it's as tough as football and basketball.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. In the 1980s, it wasn't war during basketball.
I know.
They're not fighting it out. But yeah, that's another point. What I was gonna bring up, I was gonna say something before we ended. Now I forgot because I've been seeing all these analysts talk smack about LeBron and these basketball current players. I'd say, I'm gonna end it off. I'm just gonna end it right here. It's harder to score a goal than to score a basket.
That is true.
Twice as hard to score a goal in the NHL than it is to score a basket in the NBA.
That is true. And just to add to that, I'd like to say one thing. at least in hockey, they give Ovechkin his credit and Gretzky's there to celebrate with him. In the NBA, the old heads, the analysts... Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the few, but the old analysts never want to give LeBron his credit. Yeah. Anyways, that's where we're going to end it. They're both great athletes, both great records. Thank you for listening.